Hey Narwhals, I'm your host Luke Narwhal, and welcome back to some more weight loss stories. If you're new here, please tap that subscribe button below for more weight loss stories and to join our awesome community, the Narwhals. I finally understood that I don't need to eat all the food right now, and that I can still eat the rest later when I'm hungry again. I knew this already. Every day I struggled not to eat all the food I made for lunch, even though I wasn't hungry halfway through eating. It just felt like the food was calling me. It was sitting there in the freezer, and a part of my brain was always thinking about it. Also, when I bought something unhealthy, some cookies or a small bar of chocolate, I could not stop eating. The only situation where I would not eat the whole bag was when I shared snacks with friends, because then my brain would acknowledge that this bag wasn't entirely mine and I had to share, and that was okay. But when I bought something for myself, there was always this voice that said, "Why should you wait? It's yours. You can eat the whole thing right now and feel good." I tried to be reasonable every day. I tried to portion my meals and eat a healthy amount, until the day when I just stopped making more than what I wanted to eat for the next meal. I cooked separately for every meal and only the exact amount that would fit in my calorie budget, without leftovers that were waiting for me in the freezer. And this meant a lot of work, but I wanted to make it work. When I bought a snack, I looked at the calories and made peace with myself. I thought that it is okay to eat the whole thing, even if there were 500 to 1,000 calories in that bag. I just didn't buy snacks every day. And then came today. I bought a small chocolate bar with 500 calories in it and made lunch. I made quite a lot, so I decided to eat this meal and then only eat some fruits in the evening, and of course the chocolate somewhere in between. I ate the meal, but noticed that I actually didn't want to eat anymore and stopped. I waited to see whether my appetite came back, but I felt quite full and decided to just leave the food in the kitchen and eat the rest when I was hungry again. Now, this situation didn't happen once in the last 5 years or even more, so I was quite surprised. After I put the leftover food in the kitchen, I noticed the chocolate and my cravings came, but this time too, I didn't eat the whole thing. I didn't even eat half of it, only a quarter until I noticed that I didn't want any more of it. I was just so confused, but I stopped and left it there to do other things. Now I am just in awe about myself, because after such a long time, I finally didn't try and force myself to stop eating, and boom, it just happened. So guys, I really wanted to share this. Maybe some of you will find strength in this story to accept your body and your habits a bit more and find a way to work with them, not against them. I will also stick to my policy to only cook one meal at a time, because I'm aware that this change may not be permanent and I could fall back on my habits when I take things too fast. But I am just so happy about the fact that I do indeed see changes. Thank you all for being here and fueling this wonderful community. My gold jeans don't fit. When I started this fat eating mission a few months back, I had a wicked pair of jeans I was desperate to squeeze into. It was pretty confidence stabbing when I couldn't get them over my legs, let alone over my protruding food hoarder. However, I tried not to feel sorry for myself when I got the harsh kick of reality, easier said than done of course, and I got to work, rejecting requests for takeouts, casting aside the temptation for ice cream, and eating an ungodly amount of eggs. Seriously folks, I may start clucking soon. Thankfully my chickens are hard workers and I rarely go without. Walking every day and just moving more, have a lot less numb butts because of it, didn't notice how long I sat for before this. All of this builds up to today. I risked trying on the gold jeans, and by the goddess Santori, they didn't fit. They were hanging off me, and they were far too big on me, and even with the belt looked pretty ridiculous. It was pretty surreal letting these dreaded jeans just fall off and get set aside. It's pretty wacko. I'm just pretty stunned with myself, and I am making a difference, even if I don't believe it every day. I know it's a cliche to say, if I can do it, anyone can, but for reals. I'm a lazy blob with minimal willpower, but here I am, over 31 pounds down. Rant is ending now, I very promise. Just thank you to everyone here. I mostly lurk in the shadows spying on you all, but I appreciate all the kind words, even when they're not directed at me. You're all wicked, and I hope all your gold clothes fall off of you, but not in a mexy way. Kinda in a mexy way. Experience tuning out a body shaming comment. I went for a hike at Mount Chakra, which was definitely a challenge. During a short water break, a guy and a woman descending passed me by. I was visibly sweaty and out of breath. Once they thought they were out of earshot, the woman turned to the guy and said, "Why is there a fat girl climbing a mountain?" And they both laughed and continued on. I just stood there, pretty much on the verge of tears. Honestly, this made me really upset. I felt as if I don't belong in the trails, that my existence there is merely a joke. For the first time since I started hiking, I felt out of place. I've always been an avid outdoors person, but due to poor food choices, I was unable to fully enjoy what life has to offer once I got too heavy. I started my weight loss journey in January and so far had lost 75 pounds. The difference in weight had allowed me to enjoy all the things I previously couldn't enjoy before, most importantly, hiking. I almost decided to descend right there and then I remembered the journey that I had to go through to get to the point where I can hike a mountain without being in pain. All those months counting calories and recording my carb intake, keto, and those hours doing strength workouts to build up my core, quads, hamstrings, calves, and glutes for technical climbs. The miles of running that I pushed further every week to build up my endurance. All those hardships I underwent just so I can climb a damn mountain in peace. And that moment of brief reflection gave me the will to tune out the negative voices, square up my shoulder, and continue my ascent. That woman didn't know my journey, and that's fine. What matters is my own self-respect and sense of self-worth. Once I reached the summit, I felt an immense pride in how far I have gone, both in my life and finally hiking Mount Chocorua. Negative voices, both internally and from others, would continue to exist, but it's up to us to process these and bounce back. The fight is still going, but I know I'll keep building my resilience and march on. Female 28, 5'6", starting weight 292 pounds, current weight 216, goal weight 150. My realistic weight loss and achieving one of my greatest goals, touching my toes for the first time in 2 decades. Male 29, 6 feet tall, 300 pounds to 180. I always bought double lunches in school. If I didn't take 3 helpings for dinner, my mother would ask me if I was sick or if I didn't like it, a question that bore the full weight of her depression. I was a skinny child before about the 1st grade, but youthful energy fades and youthful eating habits don't, and by the time I was in grade 6, I was barely the right weight for an age-appropriate pee-wee football team. By high school, I was just the funny fat kid. I saw my pediatrician for the last time after my freshman year of college, and he told me that at the rate I was going, my weight would impact my lifespan. I was 300 pounds. It was a wake-up call. And before I went back to school, he set me up to have a quick rundown with a nutritionist. When I got back to school, I started walking, first up the street, and then around the block, and then around the neighborhood, and then mixing in a little bit of running. I started parking in a far lot on purpose. I switched to mostly salads and crashed out the first 50 pounds. I was scared. I started letting myself eat a little more normally after that, but I couldn't eat as much. My stomach just wasn't as stretched out. I spent a few years after college working in warehouses, which ticked off a bunch more pounds and brought me to where I am now. I tend now to stay in between 174 pounds and 184, depending on my stress levels. I'm a teacher and in grad school, so I'm on the higher end right now. And don't beat yourself up if you slip. We're all trying to be as healthy as we can. I don't think I'll ever be free of my little paunch. Oh well. I've taken up middle distance running in the last few years, but had some injuries due to understretching. Which brings me to the reason for this post. For the first time since probably 3rd grade, I can touch my toes. I can touch my toes. Have a before and after for your troubles. And that brings us to the featured narwhals of the day from our Reddit community. To join our Reddit community, just open the description below. Also, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more weight loss stories, and to join our friendly community, the Narwhals. Bring Me a Higher Love says, my weight loss has slowed way down and it's a mind frig. And trying my best to stay focused on my goals, but also give myself credit for how far I've come in a relatively short amount of time. 295 pounds to 209, December 2019 to July 2020. And this is hard friggin' work. Daisy Doodle 92 says, I've lost 56 pounds so far since late January this year, and today is my first day ever in my life to wear a crop shirt / belly shirt, and it's so terrifying and exciting. It says, 7-pound difference in 1 month to start my journey off. Not much, but definitely a change of body fat and muscle mass. And thanks for sharing, featured narwhals. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more weight loss stories and to join our friendly community, the narwhals. And thanks for watching, narwhals, and I'll see you in the next one.